Hey guys, it's Mrs. Cutting here, and today I'm going to go through the review for the test with you. So part 1 was on lessons 1 through 4, which was using our 3 strategies to find area. Decompose, and rearrange, or subtract the missing piece. So this first one, I see it as a square with a piece cut out. So I'm going to find the area of the whole square, which the height was 6 and so was the base, so I'm going to do 6 times 6 equals 36. And then I need to take away this part, and this was 3 by 3, so it was 9. So I'm going to do 36 minus 9, which is 27 square units. And my strategy here is subtract the missing piece. This next one, I could either decompose and rearrange, or I could subtract the missing piece. I think subtracting the missing piece is a little bit easier to picture, so I'm going to draw the full square or rectangle around it. And this whole thing is another square that was 6 by 6. So the area of the whole thing, again, was 36. But I don't care about these 4 triangles. I want to get rid of those 4 triangles. So I can either do base times height divided by 2 for each of those triangles, or because I see that 2 of these triangles will come together to make a rectangle, I can say I can move this piece over here. So this is a rectangle that's 2 times 4, so this is 8. And I can take this one and move it over here. And now I have another rectangle that's 2 times 4, so it's 8. So I'm doing 36 minus 8 plus 8 is 16, so minus 16 is 20 square units. And again, my strategy was subtract missing piece. This next one, a little bit weird. I'm going to decompose. I'm not going to do any rearranging. I'm just going to cut it up into shapes that I know how to find the area of. So I'm going to turn it this way for a minute. And if I cut it right here, I have a triangle. And I have a rectangle. And then I have just this little itty bitty triangle over here. So my pink triangle, it has a base of 4 and a height of 2. So I'm going to do 4 times 2 divided by 2. So its area is 4. My orange rectangle has a base of 3 and a height of 4. So 3 times 4 equals 12. It's a rectangle, so I'm not dividing by 2. And then my itty bitty little triangle over here. It has a base of 1 and a height of 1, so 1 times 1 is 1, divided by 2 is 0.5. So the area of the whole thing is going to be 4 plus 12 plus 0.5. So this gives me 16 plus 0.5 is 16.5 square units. And my strategy here was just decompose. Alright, so now we're going off the grid. This one, I'm going to use the same strategy as up here. So I'm going to find the area of the whole thing and then take out the missing piece. So this whole thing had a base of 5 and a height of 5. So 5 times 5 equals 25. And then the piece that I don't want has a base of 2 and a height of 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So 25 minus 4 is 21, and this time I'm going to do square centimeters. I could still call it square units, but because it says it's centimeters, I'm going to call it that. And again, this was subtract the missing piece. This one, I'm going to decompose and rearrange. I know that if I take two triangles that are the exact same size, I can put them together to make either a parallelogram or a rectangle. So I'm going to get rid of this triangle. Well, not get rid of it. I'm going to move it over here so it sits on top of this one. Pretend that's a straight line. And when I move it, it makes a rectangle that's 8 by 5. So 8 times 5 equals 40 square centimeters. And this is decompose and rearrange. Okay, then this last one, a little bit of extra work on this one. So I am going to cut it here and here. So I have a triangle plus a rectangle plus a triangle. So this triangle right here has a base of 1.5 and a height of 4. So I'm going to do 1.5 times 4 divided by 2, which gives me 3. So it has an area of 3. My rectangle here has a base of 6 and a height of 4. So I'm going to do 6 times 4 is 24. That's the area of this piece. And then this triangle, we don't know the base yet. So here's the weird part. I know that this whole thing here is 8. I know that this piece, that base was 1.5, and that base was 6. So 6 plus 1.5 is 7.5. The whole thing together is 8. That means this last little piece is going to be 0.5. So this triangle is 0.5 times 4 divided by 2, which is just 1. So area altogether is 3 plus 24 is 27 plus 1 is 28. So my final answer, I don't know what color to write it in, how about a pencil, is 28 square units. And all I did here was decompose. All right, part 2, this was parallelograms. We're finding the area of each parallelogram. So parallelograms have a base and a height. They come together to make a 90-degree angle. My formula for area of a parallelogram is just base times height equals area. So I'm always going to highlight my base and my height. So this is my base. This is my height. 10 times 3 is 30 square centimeters. I don't need to mention a strategy because I already, I'm just using my formula here. This one, I see that 90-degree angle backs right there. So this is my base, this is my height. Now I can call this my base, I could also call this my base. They're both going to be the same, and that is 9. So this is also 9. So I'm just going to do 9 times 6, which is 54 square centimeters. All right, next, still finding the area of a parallelogram, so I'm still doing base times height. I'm going to highlight them. Base times height come together and make that 90-degree angle. So this one, my base is 9, my height is 4. So 9 times 4 is 36 square centimeters. This one, I have 5 and 4. 5 times 4 equals 20 square centimeters. Next up, more parallelograms. This time I'm on the grid. I'm still going to highlight my base and my height. Base, height, base, height, base, height. And this one, I want to stay on the grid, so I'm going to use this as my base, and this is my height. So if I count how long this is, my base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my height is 1, 2, 3. 5 times 3 equals 15 square units. This one, my base is 1, 2, 3, and my height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times 5 is also 15 square units. This one, my base is 4 and my height is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 square units. And here my base was 1, 2, 3, and my height was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 times 5, still 15 square units. Now I know the area and I know either the base or the height. I'm going to have to divide to find the missing piece. So I'm going to highlight my base and my height. Base, height, base, height, base, height. So area is 10, base is 5. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2 units. Because I know if I do 2 times 5, it'll give me 10. This one, we don't care about that number because that's not part of our base. The area is 21, so I'm going to do 21 divided by 7 gives me 3 units. And I don't care about this 2.5, it's not part of my base. I know that the area is 25, so I'm going to do 25 divided by 5 equals 5 units. Alright, last page. Almost there. I have like 3.5 minutes left of video time. We'll see if I can do this. So I need to highlight, now we're on to part 3, which is triangles. I need to highlight a base and a height. I am going to use the ones that don't have decimals because that just makes my life a little bit easier. For area of a triangle, I need to do base times height divided by 2. So here my base was 3, my height was 6. 3 times 6 divided by 2. 3 times 6 is 18, divided by 2 is 9 square inches. Base is 6, height is 4. 6 times 4 divided by 2 equals 12 square centimeters. Here we have a base, we need to draw in a height. So I am going to take my index card, set it along my base, and trace it to draw a line that makes a 90-degree angle and shows how tall my triangle is. And then, hope I'm not making you dizzy by turning my paper so fast. I'm going to line it up along my base. I need to draw or trace my index card so I can make that 90-degree angle. And it can be as tall as the triangle. Now I could do it out there too, doesn't matter which way. Alright, last one. Which triangle has the greatest area? Well, a funny thing about this is this has a base of 2 and a height of 4. This has a base of 2 and a height of 4. This has a base of 2 and a height of 4. And you guessed it, this has a base of 2 and a height of 4. So even though each one looks a little bit different, they all have the same height. So they are all going to be 2 times 4 divided by 2. So they all have an area of 4 square units. All right, and that is it.